So on the topic of insomnia, I thought I'd show you a quick semi-lucid dream I had last night. I was going through my own personal bout of it, which is what made me want to get up earlier today and shoot the video I just posted before this. So anyway, our younger son is sick. So he was sleeping downstairs with mama, and I was in the upstairs bedroom with our older son using the extra bed. And so I'm in there, you know, trying to fall asleep. And it's very often the case, at least for me, when I'm going through these bouts of insomnia, is I start to dream of me being awake in bed trying to fall asleep. But then I very oftentimes do really wake up for real and look at the clock and be like, fuck, it's been like 2 hours. Why aren't I sleeping yet? You know, because I will typically think that me being in bed trying to fall asleep is actually me really being awake. But if you want a kind of funny way that, at least for men, they can check this really quick to see if you're actually dreaming of being awake in bed or really awake, is you can just check your pants. But anyway, that shit aside, so I'm upstairs trying to fall asleep for what feels like hours. And then I start to dream, because I was dreaming at this point, that my wife came into the bedroom for some reason. I remember thinking like, shit, you know, why is she up here? Hopefully she won't try to talk to me or wake me up, because I've been here trying to fall asleep for so long. You know, just kind of leave me alone. I'm going to pretend like I'm sleeping. So I was in this kind of position with like one arm up, which is a position I like to sleep like this a lot of times at night, or like one arm up at least. The problem for me is it keeps my shoulders in this flexed position, so then I can start to, you know, my shoulders will get tight, they'll start cramping. I'll wake up the next day, they'll be sore and shit. So I like to sleep like this initially, but then I tend to drop my arms down after like 5 or 10 minutes, you know, as I'm getting closer to bed or closer to falling asleep. So I can hopefully fall asleep with my arms down at my sides. So she's in the room and I have one arm up, and I remember thinking within the dream, I was like, you know, it doesn't feel like my arm is really in that position in real life. So it's kind of like some real life shit starting to bleed over into the dream. And then at that same time, I was thinking like, you know, I was lying in the dream trying to pretend like I'm sleeping. I was like, oh, I'm going to do this kind of like heavier breathing sound to sound like I'm, you know, really, really asleep. But as I was doing that in the dream, I remember thinking, hearing the sound, I was like, you know, the sound sounds so authentic. You know, shit, maybe I really am sleeping. So then I got semi-lucid there. But really at that point, I didn't even care. I was just like, man, I want to get like asleep, because I kept, you know, waking up periodically throughout this whole period over the hour half, 2 hours, who knows, something like that, of me trying to fall asleep. And so, you know, that kind of sucked. Didn't really progress past that. But what is cool is very often, if you get lucid earlier on in the night in an earlier dream, it really boosts the chances, at least for me it does, of getting lucid in subsequent dreams after that. So last night I actually had 2 like regular type full-on lucid dreams after that. So I kind of had like 2.5 lucid dreams last night. So as much as insomnia sucks, it can actually be a pretty useful vehicle to, you know, getting lucid.